Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're checking out another video from Tasting History. It's been a while. Yes, this is Tasting History with Max Miller, which is here in front of us right now, staring into your soul. Greet him properly so he does not steal your soul as he stares. But yes, what is this? Pizza from the 19th century Naples. And I'm a man that loves his pizza, so I was really interested in this one. So let's check it out. And also look at the Pikachu with the heart in the background. He's always got a Pokemon in the background. Are those baby bells with him? I don't know, but if you're interested in food from the past, then go check out his channel, which is linked in the description. And also, if you just want to, go through his videos, names the Pokemons that are behind him in every video I've seen so far, anyway. Go ahead and do that too. It's a lot of fun. But, yeah, let's check out this 19th century pizza.
There is a story that says that the Margherita Pizza was created by Raffaele Esposito when Queen Margherita of Italy visited Naples in 1889.
I gotta say, his pronunciation sounds pretty good to me. I'm not Italian, but it sounds really good. Is he Italian? Maybe? I don't know.
He placed tomato, mozzarella, and basil on top of the pizza to represent the colors of the flag of the newly unified Italy. A charming tale with very little evidence to back it up. In fact, one thing that is for certain is that the pizza, perhaps under a different name, already existed in Naples for decades before. So using documents from the mid-19th century, I am endeavoring to uncover what the original Margherita pizza might have been like.
How original is original?
Story of Neapolitan pizza, this time on Tasting History.
Neapolitan? When anybody says a Neapolitan anything to me, I think of the ice cream.
Recreating the original Margherita pizza as it would have been in 19th century Naples is kind of an impossible task. See, today there is an association in Italy that has codified exactly what Neapolitan pizza must be. But 150 years ago, there was no such association, and the many, many pizza makers of Naples had their own version of what they considered pizza.
I guess they take their pizza very seriously over there. They got an association that delegates what is and is not a pizza. That's interesting. I'm not as shocked as I probably should be about this. But that is interesting to know, though.
Mind you, at this time, most people, especially outside of Naples, considered pizza to be more of a dessert. It was kind of like a sweet cheesecake. And the pizza, the savory pizza, what we think of as pizza, was the food of the poorest people in Naples, the Lazzaroni.
Them some lucky people, then, because pizza is delicious. Even bad pizza is still good.
So without an actual recipe to follow, I'm going to have to rely on contemporary descriptions from the 19th century.
Is this a dude? I can't tell. The face is a mix. It's hit or miss. It's 50-50 here.
That at least describe what this savory pizza was like. And just like today, there are lots of ways that these pizzas were topped. Some of the more popular toppings were just olive oil, garlic, and anchovies. But in 1853, we do get a description of what might be the very first Margherita pizza. Pizza is a specialty of the Neapolitans, indeed of the city of Naples itself. Some are covered with grated cheese and seasoned with lard, and then a few basil leaves are placed on top. Upon this, thin slices of mozzarella. At times, slices of prosciutto, tomatoes, small clams, etc. are used.
Clams?
So he mentions grated cheese, slices of mozzarella, slices of tomato, and basil. And if the pizzaiolo, or pizza maker, doesn't put any clams or prosciutto on it, then we got ourselves a Margherita pizza. So,
how many people have eaten pizza with clams on it? I know there's a seafood pizza, but clams?
To make this version of the Margherita pizza, what you'll need is 2½ cups or 300 grams of 00 flour or bread flour, 3/4 of a cup or 175 milliliters of water, a ½ teaspoon or 1½ grams of dry yeast, and 1½ teaspoons of salt. So start by mixing the yeast into the
Doesn't
water and
sound
let it sit for a
too
few minutes
much,
to
too
dissolve,
difficult.
and then add about 2 cups of the flour along with the salt and begin to work the ingredients together. And as you do, you can add more of the flour until you have enough that you get a shaggy dough. You may not need all of the flour to get to this point though.
What
Then
about
turn the
Scooby?
dough out onto the counter
Oh
and
God.
begin to work it until it is kneadable. And you can continue to add flour if necessary.
Oh, I
Then
think
once it
so.
comes
That
together,
was sticky
knead
as
the dough
fuck.
for about 7 to 10 minutes until you have a nice smooth ball of dough. Then oil a bowl, set the dough in, put a little more olive oil on top, and cover with a wet
Let it
towel
rise.
and let it rise for at least 2 or 3 hours, but preferably more like 24 hours in the refrigerator. It'll really let the flavors in the dough develop. Now this is just one version of pizza dough that might have been made because we don't really know exactly what the dough was like. It's actually probably not like the dough that is used in Naples today. They would have probably mostly used sourdough, but they did have compressed yeast as well. But the real question is exactly how leavened is this bread?
Okay, I don't know how many people do this, but has anybody eaten pizza toast? Where you essentially just get a piece of bread, put some tomato sauce, cheese, and if you got them, sliced pepperonis, and put that sucker in the oven, and just let it toast and melt. He just said sourdough. Now I want to try that with some sourdough bread. Oh, that sounds really good. Oh, God.
Alexander Dumas said that the pizza is made from the same dough as bread, which would imply that the dough is pretty well leavened. But in 1847, Gaetano Valeriani wrote, "These pizzas are simple flattened breads and focacce, made from wheat dough without yeast, and therefore indigestible." But then he goes on to say that the edges of the pizza are raised, which would imply that it is leavened. So maybe he doesn't actually know what yeast does. I don't know. But the idea is that it probably varied from pizza maker to pizza maker. I mean, even in Italy today, pizza varies from city to city, from street to street even, and that's kind of what makes it exciting. You can have a bunch of different pizzas, and they're all a little bit different.
Oh my God. I can never go to Italy. I'm not coming back from that. Not because I'm staying there, but because I had a heart attack and died from all the pizza I ate. And what's in the middle? What is this? It looks fried and delicious.
What I really love about travel is the inconsistency, the variety of the different foods that you can get whenever you travel to a new place. So once the dough has risen, divide it into 2 pieces to make personal-sized pizzas, or leave it whole if you want to make one large pizza. I will say the smaller size.
One large pizza is personal-sized for me. I'm a big boy.
Size is going to be much easier to work with if you don't make pizzas all the time, like I don't. I wish I did, but I don't. So you want to form this dough into a thin disc, which can be a little tricky, and you're going to want to place it on a pizza peel that is ready with plenty of semolina flour on it, because you're going to slide the pizza off into the oven. And even after you put the dough onto the peel, you should still be able to work it so you make it into a better circle. And then it is time for your toppings. And exactly what should those toppings be? Today, Margherita pizzas are usually made with tomato sauce. But in all of the old descriptions, I never saw tomato sauce for this type of pizza. It was only used for pizza marinara, which was made with tomato sauce and anchovies. That's not this.
No, we don't want that.
All of the other pizzas that have tomatoes, it says they are sliced tomatoes. As Samuel Morse of Morse code fame described pizza in Naples in the 1830s, it's a species of the most nauseating cake, covered over with slices of pomodoro or tomatoes, and sprinkled with little fish and black pepper, and I know not what other ingredients. It altogether looks like a piece of bread that has been taken, reeking out of the sewer.
I'm assuming the fish are like anchovies or some shit. Now, if those weren't on there, and he still said this, either he went to a terrible place for this, or he's just not a good food critic.
Not a fan. All right, good to know. Hopefully mine does not look like it came out of the sewer. So the tomatoes that I am using are called Mini Marzano tomatoes, and they should have the same flavor as the traditional San Marzano, which I couldn't find at this time of year. But you can also use Roma tomatoes. Those are closer to the proper size, but the flavor is a little bit different. As for the cheese, I am using
like
mozzarella,
weirdly
but two
shaped.
different kinds, and that's because of a
There are multiple
description that is
kinds of
probably the most
mozzarella?
detailed description of the type of pizza we want to make that comes from the 1860s. But it was actually written by an Englishman who went to Naples, then came back to England and was trying to explain pizza to his countrymen. What do you mean by the pizza? Well, the pizza is a favorite Neapolitan delicacy, which is only made and eaten between sunset and 2 or 3 in the morning, and it must be baked in 5 minutes in the oven.
What the fuck?
At the very moment when it is ordered, it is pulled out of the oven and served up piping hot. Otherwise, it is not worth a grano.
What the? Just only made and eaten between sunset and 2 or 3 in the morning. That is a weird time to be eating. Who's eating pizza 2 in the morning? I don't know, some drunk bastard that got up in the middle of the night and found the leftover pizza on top of the counter in the kitchen. Maybe.
The pizza baker takes a ball of dough, kneads it, and spreads it out with the palm of his hand, giving it about half the thickness of a muffin. Then pours over it mozzarella, which is nothing more than rich cream, beaten almost like a cream cheese. Then he adds grated cheese, herbs, and tomato.
That's
Puts the cake, which made after this fashion is termed the pizza, just for 5 minutes into the oven, and served it up as hot as possible. The cheese and the cream are, of course, all melted and united with the herbs and the tomato. The outside crust must, in the case of a perfect pizza, possess a certain orthodox crispness. So he talks about grated or sliced mozzarella, for which you will need a firm mozzarella, like buffalo mozzarella, but then for the pourable mozzarella, which he equates to like cream cheese, I'm thinking that he's talking about the stracciatella, which is inside a ball of burrata. This you can actually, if not pour, then spread across the top of your pizza.
Never had this kind of cheese.
Cover that with the tomato slices, and then a
few
pieces
that a bit more
of
evenly,
the firmer mozzarella, and then you can put the basil on top. But really, you should only put the basil on top if you have a wood-fired pizza oven that is going to hit about 900 degrees Fahrenheit.
Why?
Because then you only need to bake this pizza for like 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. But if you don't have that, if you just have a regular oven, like
it's just going to burn the thing,
then it's going to need to bake for more like 8 or 9 minutes. And so I would wait to put the basil on until about halfway through, otherwise it can burn. Also, if you are using a conventional oven, you're going to want to get yourself a pizza stone so that you can heat that up and make a really, really hot surface in the oven that you can then slide the pizza on.
Did not even know that was a thing. I have to look into that.
Also, you note that when I did slide the pizza into the oven, the fan blew all the basil I had on there off, so I had to put it on later anyway. So like I said, if you have a wood-fired oven and it's 900 degrees, 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, you're gonna be good. If you have a regular oven that's like 450, 500 degrees Fahrenheit, then you're gonna need 8 or 9 minutes in the oven, which should give us plenty of time for me to take you back to 19th century Naples.
Do I want to be there? Maybe.
Lately,
Try their
I've got a lot
pizza.
of requests for signed cookbooks. The Tasting History Cookbook. This is actually the Italian version. For the English version,
he's got an Italian
Father's
version.
Day. So I'm putting a link in the description to where you can order those if you want one. Now, the history of pizza in Naples goes way, way, way back, probably to the Etruscans. They had flatbread, they had other things, they probably put it on there, you got yourself a pizza. But pizza, as we think of it as pizza, doesn't really get its start that we know of until about the 18th century. Before that, most pizza referred to kind of a sweet bread. I've actually made one version of that here on the channel.
What is that?
It's kind of like a brioche with a bunch of sugar on it.
I thought he was going to say there's something on the inside, but no, that's just it, huh?
And that is actually what most people thought of pizza as being until like the early 20th century. In 1891, Pellegrino Artusi published a cookbook which was for many years the Bible of Italian cuisine. And in it he included 2 pizza recipes. One was a crust stuffed with custard, raisins, and pine nuts, and the other, which he
I might be able to do without the raisins.
Called Neapolitan-style pizza, was a short crust pastry filled with ricotta, almonds, and sugar. Delicious, I have no doubt, but
Ricotta is a cheese, right? So it's cheese, almonds, and sugar? Cheese, almonds, and ricotta. I don't think I've tried ricotta cheese, so I don't think I can judge this, but that doesn't sound all that great to me.
Pizza? Not really by any modern definition. Though I would kind of love to see a restaurant say that they're like really committed to historically authentic Italian cuisine, and when people order a pizza, that is what they bring out, a cheese and pine nut stuffed crust, basically a cheesecake. And then they refuse to take it off the bill when people complain that that is not a pizza, because technically it is a pizza. And that's why I don't work in the restaurant industry anymore, because that's how I would run my restaurant. Anyway,
learn some history.
Pellegrino Artusi considered dessert pizza, that doesn't mean that most people in Naples at this time actually agreed with him. For the common people, pizza was pizza as we
savory
think of it,
and
or
cheesy,
a version of it. And Alexander Dumas, when he visited, that's the author of Three Musketeers, when he visited Naples, he talked about the fact that for most Neapolitans, they ate two foods, pizza and watermelon. The Lazzarone eats, as we've said, pizzas and watermelon.
That's interesting.
Watermelon in the summer, pizzas in the winter. The pizza is a kind of flatbread. It comes in different widths depending on the price.
You're saying the people ate straight up nothing but watermelon during the summer? All right. That is kind of a wild statement. I'm sure that's not true, but I feel like they would have eaten a lot more than just watermelons.
A 2 centesimi pizza is enough for one man. A 2 soldi pizza should feed a whole family.
Centesimi pizza? What's it? What? Centesimi and soldi? What are these? Are these... I'm assuming they're sizes, because it's enough for one man. What the hell? What? Centesimi almost sounds like it's saying centimeter. But it can't be a 2 centimeter pizza. Ain't enough for nobody. But I have to look that up too.
Pizza seems a simple dish. Upon closer examination, it's a complex one. There's pizza with oil, pizza with bacon,
pizza
I
want that
with
one.
lard,
No,
pizza
not
with
that
cheese, pizza with tomatoes, pizza with small fish.
Sorry, was the pizza with bacon have no cheese on it? Honestly, I'll probably be okay with it. Just order a pizza with bacon and it's just bread with sauce and bacon all over it. I would be perplexed at first, but then I would accept it as long as the bacon is nice and crispy. Don't give me none of that soggy, wet, chewy bullshit. Give me that crispy bacon.
And he says that the price isn't just determined by the size, but also by what toppings you're putting on it. Just like today, it can change
no surprise
the price.
there.
Unlike today, at least I hope, another thing that affects the price of pizza is its freshness.
Oh.
You can no longer sell yesterday's pizza at the same price as today's. There are week-old pizzas for those on a budget. These can, if not pleasantly, at least advantageously, replace the sea biscuit.
Fuck is a sea biscuit? Besides a horse from that movie. A sea biscuit? Also a week-old pizza. What?
So Dumas...
Okay, I didn't say a year. What year was this? Because that pizza was definitely not refrigerated. That's been sitting out on the counter for a whole week. No. No. Week-old pizza.
Suggesting using week-old pizza as a replacement for hardtack. Now, I'm thinking that these week-old pizzas were not usually sold in pizzerias, but rather out on the streets. Because a traditional pizza maker, or pizzaiolo, would have an establishment where they would actually make the pizza. Then these pizzas, cut into many one-solo slices, are entrusted to a young assistant who goes to sell them on the street corner atop a portable stand.
That's
and there he remains nearly the whole day with these slices of pizza, which freeze in the cold, turn yellow in the sun, and are eaten by flies.
Turn yellow in the sun? The hell's in that pizza that turns yellow in the sun?
When the supply runs out, the pizzaiolo replenishes it even late into the night.
How late? I did say 2 to 3 a.m. on that one other one, where they said it's only eaten between sunset and 2 to 3 a.m. People coming out that late to buy a pizza, and why not just sell it out of the store that he's making it in? It's a weird concept.
This is the pizza sold to the poorest people of Naples, the Lazzaroni. And to many people who are living outside of Italy or even outside of Naples, pizza is considered slightly above trash. As we saw, Samuel Horst compared it to something taken from the sewer. And many other descriptions say that it is usually almost entirely burnt to the point of being inedible.
What the fuck? That doesn't. What? Why? Who's just not watching the pizza as it cooks?
But perhaps the most acerbic description of pizza that I could find actually comes from Carlo Collodi, who wrote Pinocchio, because he not only talks about the pizza, but also the poor boy hawking it out on the street. That blackness of the browned bread, that whiteness of the garlic and anchovy, that yellowish green of the oil and the little fried herbs, and those bits of tomato here and there give the pizza an air of elaborate filth that harmonizes perfectly with the appearance of the vendor.
What? Damn, you didn't need that last line, man. Come on. Okay, so I guess whoever was making these just did not give a fuck. Either that had the heat up way too high and just, I don't know. It's got to be like too much fire. Like by the time it fully cooks, it's actually the outside's burned. Because if you don't do that, the inside's still raw and doughy. Ugh. You know, I might be changing my mind about wanting to try these old-fashioned pizzas.
But it is my belief that even the worst pizza, a week-old burnt pizza, is still better than no pizza at all. And it seems that the majority of the population of Naples, whether they were poor or wealthy, were in agreement.
Really?
For there is no person, high or low, from the first Neapolitan duke to the lowest Lazzaroni, with whom it is not a primary article of faith to eat pizza. The pizza cake is your only social leveler, for in the pizza shops, rich and poor harmoniously congregate. They are
So it's gotta at least taste a little bit good, right? Maybe not get the one with the fish on it.
the only places where the members of the Neapolitan aristocracy, far haughtier than those of any other part of Italy, may be soon masticating their favorite delicacy side by side with their own coachmen and valets and barbers. The pizza shops are about the filthiest in Naples, and whoever knows Naples will admit that this is saying a good deal.
You know, if I didn't know what masticating means already, that would have been hilarious.
A description of one of these pizza shops from 1853 says that between the hours of 11 a.m. and 3 p.m., the shop is absolutely packed with young men who have no jobs to go to. And
That's
a boy from the next door tavern will come over and take a drink order because usually they couldn't sell wine in the pizza parlor or pizzeria. And then they would just all sit there and
already looks
eat
drunk
and
as fuck.
drink until their stomachs couldn't take anymore. Then he describes a scene which is just as familiar to us today as it was in 1853. A scene
This
which
could
is
be good or
played
bad.
out in restaurants all over the world whenever a group of friends gets together for a meal.
Oh,
It
it's
says
not going to
that
be good.
after the last slice of pizza is gone and the last drink of wine has been drunk, then follow painful notes of payment. Often at this point, some member of the merry company disappears under the pretext of urgent necessity. Often they struggle to scrape together among themselves the price of what has been eaten and drunk. Often one who still retains a shred of modesty, so as not to make a sad figure, pays for all without hope of ever being repaid.
Yeah,
That was literally every
no,
single
he's
meal that I ever
never
had
gonna
with
get
my
paid
friends
back.
in college. Just nobody wanted to pay, and then one of us would always end up paying. And since it was a time before Venmo, you were never getting that money back. Anyway, there were other pizzerias that were nicer. They catered to a more affluent clientele. And it is from one of these pizza makers that the story of the Margherita Pizza origin comes from.
Oh, really?
Now, this is what is known as accepted history, which typically just means it was made up. The story goes that in June of 1889, Queen Margherita and her husband, Umberto I, King of Italy and chairman for the Society of Luxurious Mustaches, arrived in Naples to celebrate the Risanamento. This was a complete rebuilding of much of Naples following a devastating cholera outbreak in 1884.
Oh,
while they were there in Naples, at the Palace of Capodimonte, they decided that they wanted to try some of the local cuisine. So they summoned the most well-renowned pizzaiolo of the region, and that was Raffaele Esposito, along with his wife, Maria Giovanni Brandi. When they arrive, they present the royal couple with 3 pizzas. One with olive oil, cheese, and garlic, another with sardines and anchovies,
No, don't
and
eat that
another
one.
with tomatoes, mozzarella, and basil. Those 3 ingredients strategically added to represent the colors of their Royal Highness's national flag. And while
Quick question, does anybody like anchovies at all? Like on pizza or not? Because I feel like that's a very, very, very small minority of people.
they enjoyed all 3, Queen Margherita declared that it was that 3rd pizza that was by far the best, and so Raffaele decided to name it in honor of her, the Margherita Pizza. To top it off, then the king and queen had a letter sent to the pizzeria a few days later. It said, June 11th, 1889, Inspection Office of the Mouth. Most esteemed Signore Raffaele Esposito Brandi, I confirm to you that the 3 types of pizza that you prepared for their majesties, the king and queen, were found to be excellent. Yours devotedly, Galli Camillo, head of services of the royal household.
That's
a charming tale which has been related countless times. But what, if any, truth is there to it? Well,
does the letter exist?
We know it can't be exactly true because records show that the royal couple was never together at the Palace Capodimonte during that visit. They were at a different palace. But that's pedantic. You know, some of the details got a little mixed up in the retellings. The rest could definitely be true. I mean, there's even a letter that talks about this. She doesn't call out the Margherita pizza specifically, but she says that all of the pizzas were wonderful. And this letter still exists to this day.
Who was that letter sent to?
That letter was not found until decades after the event. It wasn't found, conveniently, until the 1930s, shortly after Raffaele's wife's nephews, Giovanni and Pasquale Brandi, took over the pizzeria and changed the name of the establishment to Pizzeria Brandi, which is what it is still called today.
Oh, it still exists.
The fact that they happened to find this letter at a time when they were kind of rebranding, it's the fact that on the letter it refers to Raffaele Esposito Brandi. Rather suspicious, since it's unlikely he would have taken her last name in 1889. Another issue is that, as pointed out by historian Zachary Nowak, the signature of Camillo Galli is wildly different from that on any other government document. Add to that the fact that the seal on the document is one that was used decades after the supposed creation of the letter, one can with some confidence say that this is a forgery. Mamma mia.
Damn.
What is
Oh, that sucks. It was a nice story, though.
Interesting, I find, is that while Raffaele Esposito did change the name of his pizzeria to Pizzeria della Regina d'Italia, or Pizza of the Queen of Italy, he did so in 1883, 6 years before Margherita's trip to Naples. Turns out that at this time, it was really common to request permission to have something named as the official establishment of either the king or the queen. It was kind of like today when a pizzeria might put up a sign that says, "World's Best Pizza." Who's
judging
deciding that?
Yeah.
But what is clear is that long before the letter occurred and the rebranding to Pizzeria Brandi, this family was trying to associate their pizzeria with the queen.
That's
interesting. And it turns out that this had actually been happening even before Raffaele Esposito. In 1880, the Roman newspaper Il Bersagliere ran a story that tells of a pizzaiolo summoned to the palace in Naples because the king and queen wished to try a pizza. When he arrives, Queen Margherita asks him what kind of pizzas that he has on offer, and he gives her a list of 35 different ways that he makes pizza.
Damn!
And she ordered one with fish and one with shrimp. And then the next day, he comes back with all of the ingredients. Finally, after frying and baking, fragrant and appetizing, the queen tasted a little and was greatly pleased. Great joy and emotion came over the pizza maker, who asked permission to place the royal coat of arms upon his pizzeria.
How little was this taste? Like, was it like Squidward eating a fucking Krabby Patty for the first time, kind of little, or did she actually take a bite? Frying and bake. Is the frying part the fish? And the shrimp? Because she ordered fish and shrimp. God. I can't even imagine. Shrimp, maybe on pizza. But fish? Oh, no. No, please, no. People think fucking the pineapple on pizza is bad. Fish, though? No. No, I'd rather take the pineapple.
The pizza maker in this story was actually Giovanni Brandi, the father-in-law of Raffaele Esposito. So,
Huh. The
is it
father-in-law?
true? I don't know, but at least it is documented in a newspaper at the time that it was supposed to have happened. What's interesting is that the pizzas that she orders are not what would become known as the Margherita Pizza.
Yeah, no.
She orders no pizza with tomatoes, mozzarella, and basil
But
like the
fish and
one that
shrimp.
I am about to try right now. So after 5 minutes in the oven, toss the basil onto the pizza and let it bake for another 3 or 4 minutes and then serve straight away.
That basil
And
still
here
ain't
we
looking
are,
too good,
my
though.
version of the original Margherita Pizza of 19th century Naples.
Did I try a
So the old
slice?
descriptions do say that it needs to be served like right away, but it's been a few minutes and already it's kind of
Floppy.
lost some of its pizzazz. But that's all right. I'm still going to eat it.
No crunch, huh? I like a crust with a crunch, though.
Mmm.
Still good?
That's so good. Oh, but it's so different because
There's no sauce.
without the tomato sauce, it's just a different. You get actually more flavor of the tomatoes, which is very interesting.
I mean, it's pure
I like
tomato,
that
so
it's
yeah.
actually had a soft cheese on the bottom. Hmm.
I don't know. It
Yeah,
makes me
so good.
makes me feel like that's more like an open-faced sandwich than anything.
I do
Cut
have
it
to
into
say
squares. Cut it into squares and slap them together. Cheese side up and down, cheese side together. I feel like that's more like a sandwich. Could probably say that about pizza nowadays too.
The crust is hard, but
Does it have a no crunch?
it's not as crisp as I'd like.
Yeah, no.
And I think that's really because I don't have a pizza oven. You can get a certain level of crispness with the pizza stone, but it's just not going to be the same as if you have a wood-fired pizza oven. And someday,
Shame.
maybe I'll get one. But I shouldn't, because then I would just be making pizzas all the time.
What's so
And I
bad
don't
about
need to
that?
be eating pizza all the time. Or, more likely, I'd use it once and never use it again. Somebody in my family who has a pizza oven, which I'm pretty sure has only been used once. But that's okay. Because there
Can you put? No, you probably can't. I was gonna say, can you put frozen pizzas in the pizza oven and make it good? Like ones you buy from like Walmart and shit. That is a question. Probably not. That's probably not a good idea. Probably only fresh pizzas. Fresh pizzas. Fresh pizzas.
are so many places that you can go and actually get really good pizza out of a pizza oven, and there is no bad pizza. This is what I'm saying. Even week-old black pizza that was being sold on the streets of 19th century Naples, probably pretty good pizza.
I don't know. I might have to disagree with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pizza. What can I say? It's delicious. It is not like what you're going to find in Naples today,
Well,
but
yeah.
according to all of the old descriptions, they are not what you're going to find in Naples today. And that's okay. I really like these tomatoes, though. They're small, but they're very, very sweet. The San Marzano. These are the mini Marzano. And
I mean, I'd try a slice of
the
this
flavor
pizza.
of the tomato is just so strong, and it's sweet. Really, really good. So I am literally going to eat this entire pizza in one sitting because
That's what I do.
It's that good. And so you should go make some pizza of your own or go buy a pizza. Also, link to the description or in the description of the signed copies of Tasting History if you want one. And I will see you next time on Tasting History. Back to the pizza.
I think you should just throw a couple slices in the air fryer, crisp up the edges. And I guess these were the tomatoes. I thought they were baby bell cheeses. No, I guess they're tomatoes. The tomatoes he used on the pizza. Yeah, no, I feel like in like 2 minutes in the air fryer will crisp that right up. But yeah, no. Would I try making that pizza? Maybe. It didn't seem like it'd be too difficult. It just looked really messy in the beginning with that dough sticking to his hand a lot. Oh god, I couldn't handle that actually. I hate having things stick to me. I can't. I can't. It's the feeling of things just like on my skin is just not. I don't even use lotions and shit because I hate that feeling of them. I think I had like did I have? I think I had something on my skin that I need to use a lotion for to get rid of. And I was supposed to do it every day, but I think I only did it like every couple days because I just could not handle it. I can't handle the feeling of having shit on my flesh. And that's why I get sunburned sometimes. Not anymore though, because I don't go outside. But yeah, no. If you feel like you'd make this pizza, because I probably would if I had the time, which I don't, but it still looks good. Yeah. Would you make this pizza? I feel like you should. I feel like it'd be a good use of your time. Even if you fuck it up, it's still probably going to be good. So yeah, if you found this interesting with the historical facts and such of the place where the food was made, and you'd like to see more of different kinds of foods, as I said, there is a link to Max Miller's Tasting History channel in the description. So go check him out. He's got a lot of videos. He's got a lot of videos. Videos going further back than the 1800s. Videos about food going back further than the 1800s. There you go. Videos going back further than the internet. No, he doesn't have that. But anyway, yeah. I say give his channel a look because you could probably find your favorite foods in there as well. So yeah, no, that's about it for me. And that's about it for today. Thank you for watching with me, and goodbye.